Hi, I'm Brian Dunn, and welcome to the most important podcast ever, Christmas Eve edition. This is our last episode of the year, and it really is about thank yous. It's thank yous to all our wonderful guests, who I mentioned all by name at Thanksgiving, so I'll spare you all the litany again. But thank you. Your stories were so compelling, so powerful. I learned so much in this first season, and I thank all our guests. And I thank our listeners, all of you, for tuning in. I know how many choices there are out there, and I am so grateful that you've chosen to spend some of your precious time with us over the course of this last year. And I keep that in mind every week when we're planning our upcoming shows. I want to make it worth your while, and I want to hear from you. So if you have thoughts or ideas or feedback or like, dude, where'd you get that sweater? Don't wear it again. Whatever you want to tell me, I want to hear. I really do. I also want to tell you a little bit about what this podcast means to me. I feel that I'm on a mission again. I'm inspired by building this platform for you to tell your stories, and I'm honored to play a role in helping you do that. I also really need to thank a couple of people. I need to thank Thomas, who is behind the scenes, our technical producer, and has taken a guy that knows very little, in fact, surprisingly little, when you think about my background, about the tech end of this. And I want to thank Shawn, who helps produce this show and is also sort of our Fezziwig. He's the founder of The Feast. He played Fezziwig, in fact, in our Christmas Carol production. And Shawn has given so mightily of his time, and I'm ever so grateful. I also have to thank Martha Vaughn. Martha, thank you for all your brilliant graphics work. And you were right there at the beginning helping with this. And I'm so grateful for your continued and ongoing contributions. And I need to thank Angelica Garcia for all of her work in promotions and her creative ideas. They've been enormously powerful, I think. And I also have to thank Patty, who happens to be Shawn's wife. Patty's idea really inspired all of this. I'd always wanted to do a podcast, but I was, man, how do you do this? How do you get started? Where do you record it? Blah, 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 blah. All the inner voice telling me all the reasons why not to do it. And one day Patty pulled me aside and said, I don't know why I'm telling you this, but we're building a podcast studio here. And I clicked. It all just clicked. That was fall of 24. And so I got to work, and it all just came together beautifully. And we launched our first one in March of the most important podcast ever, and we haven't missed a week yet. And we're not going to, God willing, and green grass growing, winds blowing out. We're going to stay on course. I also want to mention beautiful downtown Alexandria, which is why I'm wearing this magnificent sweater, because yesterday it was about, 38 degrees, 39 degrees, and right now with the wind chill, it's like minus 18. So, but I love Alex, and I love the locale where we shoot, where we get a view of the street. And some of you have said, hey, we can see the reflection. I get it. And I know at times it can be a little frustrating, but I love that we're out there and we can see what's going on and people can see us if they're interested. And finally, I want to talk to you about one Christmas tradition that I'm going to share with you today that I've been doing in my house, the Dunn household, since my first child, BJ, was born in 1992. So this will be the 34th Christmas, actually, that I've done this. And we still do it. And they're grown men. And I love it. And that is, I still get to read them the night before Christmas. And the rule is, if I mess up, and this is like at midnight on Christmas Eve, and maybe I've had a libation, if I mess up, I have to go back and start over. So what they're really doing is not savoring dear old dad reading the story. What I think my guys are really doing is trying to put me in a position to mess up. But let's see if I can do it. All right? 'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were all nestled, all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. And Mama in her kerchief, and I in my cap, had just settled our brains for a long winter's nap. When out on a lawn there arose such a clatter, I sprang from the bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters, and threw up the sash. The moon on the breast of the new fallen snow gave the luster of midday to objects below, when what to my wondering eyes should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer, with a little old driver so lively and quick. I knew in a moment it must be Saint Nick. More rapid than eagles his coursers they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donder and Blitzen, to the top of the porch, to the top of the wall, now dash away, dash away, dash away all. As dry leaves before the wild hurricane fly, when they meet an obstacle, mount to the sky, so up to the housetop the coursers they flew, with a sleigh full of toys and St. Nicholas too. And then in a twinkling I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof. As I drew in my head and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. He was dressed all in fur from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. A bundle of toys was flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his pack. His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples, how merry, his cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. His droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow, and the see, my kids would make me go over, but I'm not doing that to you. His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples, how merry, his cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. His droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow, and the beard of his chin was as white as the snow. The stump of a pipe he held tight in his teeth, and the smoke it encircled his head like a wreath. He had a broad face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself. A wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work and filled all the stockings, then turned with a jerk. And laying his finger aside of his nose and giving a nod, up the chimney he rose. He sprung to his sleigh, to his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew like the down of a thistle. But I heard him exclaim, ere he drove out of sight, Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night. So on behalf of all of us here, I'm going to ask Shawn and Thomas to come on over. We want to tell you how much we appreciate you all. And we want to tell you from the three of us, from our houses to yours, Merry Christmas and a blessed New Year. And thank you all so much.